Hey mamas, I'm Marissa. Welcome to my channel, More Mindful. I have this lisp. I have a lisp. I cannot believe that in the midst of my commitment to self that I was going to get out this video, that I actually started my teeth straightening journey at the same time. So here I am fighting through the discomfort, painful mouth, painful face, so I can get this video out. Tonight's topic is about postpartum anxiety, okay? I am not a doctor, an OBGYN. I am a mama with real experience, and I'm coming at you with the real, all right? One of the very important things for me to start this video out with, mamas, is that there are multiple occurrences, okay, that played a role in my postpartum anxiety. And this is real talk. We all have unique circumstances when we bring a baby into this world, okay? I myself was living with my mother at the time. I had been living with her for a while at that time. Whereas me and my significant other, we lost our home that we were renting, and it was just a whole fiasco. So we ended up kind of being separated, right? But he was there physically. But it was very difficult because when you're used to having your own space, rules, you know, you have to kind of fit yourself in your life into someone else's, even if it's your parents, you know, that's just what it is. So that was my circumstance. I was very happy to have my mom there. That maternal matriarchal wisdom was there. But I was such a newbie. I was like a fish out of water, okay? I was really so prepared for birth, a natural birth. I gave this beautiful, I had this beautiful, serene, for the most part, pregnancy, and then it led to a beautiful, serene, natural birth, which I'm linking the video above. That happened. I was happy about that. Now, I wasn't prepared for postpartum, even though I was a little nervous because I knew that women suffer through, well, they don't suffer, but they go through a transformative journey throughout postpartum. So I was worried about that, but it's nothing I felt like I could really prepare for. I didn't really change diapers before I had my baby. I didn't really hold babies. I held like my cousin's, one of his twins. And even then I was, you know, so stiff and nervous. I just felt like I didn't have the, you know, maternal energy or I had love, but I didn't have the know-how, you know. I didn't feel like I had that instinctual thing, and I knew that, you know, it's gonna come, either it's gonna come when I give birth, you know, and I get my baby out, or it's just gonna have to come naturally and over time and just trust the process, you know what I mean? So there I was, like a fish out of water. Now, breastfeeding. Kudos to all the mamas out there who breastfeed. I am now 14 months in the game. I might be 15 months. I gotta think about it. 14, 15 months in the game. My child is now 14 or 15 months, and we've been breastfeeding since he came out the womb. I'm very proud. I give myself a kudos and applause for continuing the breastfeeding journey, even though the first 6 weeks was hell, and to continue on was a very, 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 very tough and significant time throughout my postpartum. Y'all, I struggled to the 10th degree. I struggled so much. I had it all, the bites, the chafing. I bought the little silverettes that you put on your little, you know, I did all of that. I struggled with having the strength to even hold my son. I had my breast friend pillow to hold him. I went through it with my significant other, holding the baby and positioning the baby for me. I felt like I was just trying to learn so many different things because, again, I didn't really hold babies at all prior to this. This was the first time that I held a baby this small. A newborn baby is so fresh. I was so nervous. So I felt like I was learning that and learning breastfeeding at the same time, and it was just so overwhelming. I was reading articles every day on my phone, just trying to stay afloat and stay positive because internally I felt like I could do this. I had been through many things in my life. I have been through many things and had many experiences, and it's like you are a fighter. You kind of a rebel. You know what I mean? So there's really no point in doubting yourself now. You feel so strongly about breastfeeding and the benefits that it provides for your baby. So fight, keep it going. So that's what I did. But it messed with my head. And that's honest with y'all. Like breastfeeding, it really, a lot of mamas on Facebook groups will tell you straight up, I stopped breastfeeding because of my mental. I needed a break. Or I just needed to stop because it wasn't going well and I felt like it was sending me into a very dark space that I was going to have trouble getting myself out of. And so they stopped. And it's totally understandable. I don't knock no mama because I've been there and I get it. Now, that leads to pediatric care visits, okay? Me being a rebel, all right, played a huge role. Hormones played a huge role in how I felt the pediatricians were treating me and my son. I was doing my best to breastfeed, but my son was not showing adequate weight gain. This is very common for a lot of mamas, especially in the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. They keep an eye on it, right? They just want to see what's going on. Maybe they're just slow picking up weight. Well, time went on and they were just voicing their concerns again and again and again to the point where I started to feel like, look, I don't even want to go in there no more. Like, every one of my midwives had encouraged me to breastfeed. And they said, you're going to have your challenges, but mama, you can do it. So I had that mindset. Truly, that was something that I really felt deep down. Like I felt like I could do it. So when I got to the pediatricians, different set of ladies, totally different, care. It's about the baby. That's their job. I get it. But I felt like I got an entirely different vibe from them. Immediately, they were pushing formula, supplement your baby, do these things. And I was like, but if there's a weight issue problem, then shouldn't we figure out what the root of the problem is? Now, the conversation went to my diet because they called me a modified pescatarian. I eat salmon, I eat certain things, but I don't eat much dairy. I do like plant-based milk and stuff like that. So I said, okay, I'm gonna attack that first, nutrition. I started waking up in the morning, making myself these like protein smoothies, eating oatmeal, eating, just different things, you know what I mean? Like really trying to just pack on the calories as well as the nutrients so that when I breastfed, we could see if there was some kind of difference with my baby's weight, right, gaining. So I was kind of excited to go in. When I went in, all I remember is that their weight scale said something completely different from mine. And I was so upset. And I was like, is this thing broke? Like, I literally was so shocked, Mom. It's like, I couldn't believe it. Even thinking about it makes me go back into that space. So, anywho, they were really pushing formula. I have to pause that to also express another occurrence that was going on with my son. These seizure-like activities. He would have moments where he just eyes, would actually be wide open, and it's like, no, I'm sorry, his eyes would be closed. He would be squeezing his hands and he would almost turn pink, like he wasn't breathing. Now, of course, they would say, oh, maybe he forget how to breathe or something. It happens. Babies do these really weird, quacky things, etc., etc. But the shit was very scary, okay? The first time it happened, we went ahead and went to the ER. All of this is amid COVID and everything going on. And so going into the ER at that time, only one parent could be there, and that one parent was going to be me because I breastfeed. Traumatic. Like, it was traumatic. Just the things they had to do to him and all of that, just to, kind of get an idea of what was going on. We were on a monitor for a while. I remember we're both laying in the hospital bed together, and we were released, and they said if it happens again, keep your eye on it, try to get a video, just the typical stuff they would tell you. So anywho, I went ahead and we went ahead and went home. And like the very next day, it happened again. I was trying to piece together what happened the day before. What was he doing? What were we doing? And what happened just now? What were we doing? What happened? I was able to, get my phone out and take a video. So we took him back to the ER. We showed them. Now, mind you, in the ER, you're not dealing with a doctor per se, but you kind of are, because I think the doctor came down to see us and see what was going on. So they recommended that we stay in the hospital. They recommended that we stay in the hospital, etc. So I was very upset because they said that my son would have to get the swab up his nose to test. And I was upset because I had gotten it when I was pregnant, and I just remember it was just so uncomfortable. But that was the least of the discomfort that my son experienced at that ER. From doctor to doctor, they continued to puncture my son with these IVs that they kept saying blew. Oh, it blew. Oh, his veins move. I told you guys, my veins move. This is something that is common with me. So I'm sure it's common with my son, or my son has the same issues. It took them forever. And mind you, I hate blood. I hate needles. I hate all of these things. I'll get it, of course, but it's not something I want to see my son, go through, right? And so this is me being transparent. So it took them to go get a whole nother doctor and a whole nother wing of the hospital to come down, or a phlebotomist maybe, to come down and give my son, put the IV in my son the correct way. They tried the arm, the foot. It was ridiculous, at least 5 times. And I'm a very mellow person, but I was getting so pissed off. Like, I was so fucking pissed, but I was emotional, crying, and just, are you guys not done? Is it not working? Like, I was really pissed. So let's move forward to actually going into the hospital. They allow for both parents to be there. So I was just very happy that my significant other was there. As much as I had my moments of, oh my gosh, she's ready to breastfeed again, being in the hospital with my son, hooked up to all of these machines so they can check his brain activity and see what's going on with him, going through all of these tests. I wanted to breastfeed him any chance I got because I felt honored to do so. I was seeing all these different children in and out of the rooms when I would go and get food, and all of these emotions of what it feels like to have a child that's dealing with ailments, some terminal, and you're just a mama going through it and being strong because you gotta be. Damn right I want to breastfeed my baby. You know, he's just getting tests done, all these different exams. They did so many exams to check his brain and see his activity. And I was just honored that my son was with us in any capacity. So let's move forward. All of that happened, and I kind of go through that to just kind of relay my emotions at the time. All of that happens, and in the end, they brought in a neurologist, children's neurologist, who looked at all of his work, and he determined that it's not seizures. It's something that they call shudder spells. And so it looks like a seizure. They kind of zone out afterwards. So everything that looks like a seizure, except they're not picking up any activity that's showing seizure-like activity in his brain. They're not picking up anything from the heart, the EKGs, nothing is showing anything. And so what they think it is that he is, as a new person to this big old world, taking in all of this stimulation, just like we do every day, all of these different colors and shapes and, you know, noises and everything. And basically, he has moments where he'll just kind of zone out, and, you know, all of that shaking and everything where he does, it's like his brain is downloading all of the information that he's taken in or that he has taken in. And so, you know, basically, as he grows, as his brain grows and develops, it will be able to better handle all of the information, all of the stimulation that it's taking in and downloading. And so look forward to these episodes, shudder spells, to kind of decrease as he gets bigger and older. So of course, you know, you go back to your pediatricians and they ask you, what did the doctor say? What did they determine? They look at the paperwork and everything. So that's when it started to really hit me. Is it my fault? Did I put my son through what he's going through because of my choice to continue breastfeeding? Is it that I'm not making enough calories for him, for his brain to grow? Because of course, it's the calories, it's the caloric hind milk that provides that fat, that calorie, or the calories, the caloric milk for your baby's brain to grow, right? So I was just in my mind like, wow, like what? Oh my God, you know? So I went through a lot with that. The guilt, the wondering if my decision was the best decision. Felt like it was, you know, and I never quite wavered from my decisions. I started researching, and this is the bright side of the story. I started researching and I found an article, which I'm going to also link below. And shout out to the mama who wrote this article, wrote this blog. I appreciate you 100%. She basically talked about how when she pumped her milk, she noticed that it was very translucent, very whitish, very just you can see through it. Her mama, who breastfed her and her siblings, said that her milk looked very different from her own milk when she was breastfeeding. Her milk would be yellowish and have a very thick layer at the top. And so basically she started doing her own research and found a picture, and she put the picture in her article. Great depiction of foremilk versus hind milk and what you should expect to see when your milk settles and separates, right? I knew my milk. My milk looked white, very translucent, never looked yellow, ever. And just like she said, if you saw any bit of fat on top, it would be like paper thin, very skim, almost like skim milk. So ding, 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 ding. We were dealing with the same thing. She was speaking to me through her article. And she said that through some research, she found out about sunflower lecithin. Y'all, thank goodness for her research. She had about 60 something comments, and mamas were just, thank you so much for this, because I've been dealing with this myself. I bought the sunflower lecithin, I pumped, and it worked. Thank you. So that was my cue. You know, the comments were enough for me, and I said, let me go on Amazon, order my sunflower lecithin, or lecithin, however you pronounce it. Take it, pump, and see what happens. That'll give me a good indication of what my son is getting. So, silver lining is that it worked. It absolutely worked. I'm going to put the picture up just to show you guys that I let my milk settle and separate, and this is what I got. All right, so when I was going through that, between breastfeeding being difficult, and yeah, I got the hang of it, and I was doing it. I was taking my sunflower lecithin, pumping, feeding my baby, feeling like my baby was doing much better. He was gaining weight, and eventually, because this was really around the time when he was like 5 months or so, really around that time, we started feeding him like stage 1 solids and things like that, little by little. And so, I was in a better place, but my mental and my emotional and my spiritual was completely off balance. I was out of alignment, and I didn't even know it. It's almost like it snuck up on me when we moved into our new place. It was like, we're in a new place, and this is great. It's fine. I feel like I'm in the swing of things just a little bit more. Okay, mamas, so I'm going to wrap this video up because I decided to use my phone. Bad idea, it has no storage. So I will be getting back on my video camera for my next videos. I just wanted to share my experience with postpartum anxiety. A lot of times it comes about because as mamas, we're going through so much, we're taking on so much due to our unique circumstances. And it's just an overwhelming transformation that we're going through. My communication was terrible. I was not telling my significant other or anyone that I felt that I love and who loves me how I was feeling or when I was feeling vulnerable. I just kept a lot bottled in. And becoming a mama will expose all of that. It's going to expose everything. And it seems like maybe you had some issues with how you respond to situations and you kind of blow up. Well, I was blowing up every day. You know what I mean? Overwhelmed every day. And my attitude showed it. And it wasn't until I started really taking a look at catharsis and things that I can do, self-care, for myself as a mama, that really helped me to come out of that dark space. And when I talk about postpartum anxiety, just to kind of clarify that my heart would get, start pounding when I was overwhelmed, just exhausted, just feeling like I didn't even know what was going on with me. And how can I communicate if I don't even know what's going on with me? You know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing that I was battling. It was an internal battle. So yeah, it would be times when I was just cooking, stirring the pot, and next thing you know I'm stirring the pot and I'm like banging the spoon and I just throw it and I just walk off, I storm off. And it would happen just like that. And to me, that's what really hit me, as I have issues with anxiety. I got some anxiety issues and I need to deal with it. So if you relate to this, mama, please, please, please like the video, comment down below. Let me know, what was the thing that made you say, damn, like I'm dealing with some postpartum anxiety. I need to figure this out. You know, what was that thing for you? I do urge mamas, if you are having the issue with breastfeeding, baby weight gain that I was having, sunflower lecithin is something worth trying. And I am saying that as a true believer, that is something that really helped to transform my breastfeeding journey. Here I am 14 months in. Okay, so thank you, mamas. I appreciate it. Again, I am Marissa. I am More Mindful, and thank you guys for tuning in. Peace and love.